Well, good morning, friends. Today's July 1st, and boy, are we in for it. It is going to be hotter than the hammers of 80s. So again, we're using one of our tried and true dinner recipes to get through the heat wave. There's a number of ways that we deal with that here at my house, and one of them is cold salads or cold soup. I got a recipe and I will do it for y'all for watermelon gazpacho. Don't turn up your nose till you try it. It is delicious. But that's another way that we combat, heating up the house and people having depressed appetites because it's hot. Another thing I do is I use my crock pot because that does not heat up the kitchen. I can do all kinds of stuff in that. My ribs or, pulled porks for pulled pork sandwiches. Later on in the week, I'm going to be making meatball sandwiches, and I will just heat everything up. Let that get warm in the crock pot so it doesn't heat up the kitchen. So, and then the other, let's face it, woohoo, is the grill. So the grill gets a real workout when it gets this hot. But today is another all-time favorite. It is tuna and macaroni salad. So rather than look at me, we're going to look at the pot now. Okay, so we're down here, and I have my tuna and my macaroni. That's 2 cans of tuna. You could add more if you want. And, however much macaroni you want to use. Then what I have here, whoop, you're falling down. Sorry about that. Don't know why that decided to happen, but you guys were just sliding. And you're going to slide some more. Ay, ay, ay. Mama Khan and all of her problems with technology. Okay, so hopefully, no, it's going to keep doing it. Stop. All right, so here, good heavens, it just wants to keep bowing to the wonderfulness. Stop. Seriously, I got to get better equipment, folks. Really got to get better equipment. All right. So hopefully that will, no, it's just not going to do it. All right, hold please. Let's find a way to bring the pot up a little bit. There we go. That worked. Yeah, okay. So what we have here is I chopped up some celery. I always like to make our dishes more colorful, so I have some red onion this time. And then I went out to my front yard, my herb garden. I got some dill. So we're just gonna scoot all that in here. Oops. Okay, so we got all that together. Now this is simply a matter of putting this together the way you like to make your tuna. I always add a little bit of mustard. The reason why I do this is that just a little squirt of mustard, that takes care of, any salt if you need some salt. Okay, I like some relish. So we're just gonna throw in, that jar is almost empty, so there you go. We're gonna throw in the dill relish. So we're gonna put that in there. Then, because everybody should have a little bit of spiciness in their life, I like to throw in a little bit of horseradish. So not a lot, just a little bit. And then finally, you're going to get your mayo. Normally I would have Duke's, but I needed mayo. I was at Aldi's, and this is actually basically Hellman's. So now what I will tell you is I'm making this early. Oh, and by the way, these skinny spatulas from Pampered Chef, excellent. And of course I'm using my favorite spoonula from Pampered Chef also. Really do like their tools, makes cooking a lot easier. A lot of times I find people tell me they don't like to cook because they don't have the right tools to make it easy. But anyway, to get back to the mayo. We're going to mix this up now, but when I pull this out, the pasta will have soaked up a bit of the mayo. So you're going to have to add some more before you bring it to the table. So, but you want it to be nice and juicy. You know, I mean, you don't want to overdo it with the mayo, but kind of like that consistency I think it needs. I will say that in the summertime, for those of you who don't like mayo, I'm sorry, but we tend to use a lot of it in the summertime. Not so much in the winter, but in the summertime. So, there we have it. Now, what's going to happen is I'm going to put this in the refrigerator. Let's come back up here now. I'm going to put it in the refrigerator, let it get cold. When I go to serve it tonight, after I add a little more mayo to moisten it back up, I'm going to take tomatoes and like cut them so that they will fan out. So like in eighths, and fan it out and put a glob of this, that's a nice way of putting it, but you know, put like a good sized scoop in the middle of the tomato. And that's what's for dinner tonight. So thank you so much for coming. I will see you tomorrow. Good luck with the heat. Stay hydrated. Please like this video. Smash that like button. Share with your friends. And I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks so much. Bye.